Thank you everyone for joining this webinar session. Initially, this webinar session planned only for the utility scale inverters. Later on, we have introduced our new model inverters into the webinar session. So let us discuss about this webinar session. There are two topics. First topic will cover for these new models, whatever the models we are offering for the India market. The second topic will cover for these our utility scale inverters and technical features. So that's what our topic here, introduction to GoodWe new generation inverters and the technical features of our utility scale inverters. So and those two topics cover in this all the five subtitles. Before going to this webinar topic, just I want to introduce about our organization, because a few of the people are there in the webinar for these general audience. So they want to know about our organizations. So hardly few slides. I'm not taking too much slides for this. So our company name GoodWe Technologies Company Limited, established in 2010, headquarters in China. So till now, almost we have installed 3 million units across the world. In terms of global presence, we almost cover all the continent in the world. There are, as you already told, there is a headquarters in China. There are production units also there in China. Only there are two locations. There are two R&D centers. So we are giving more importance to these our R&D. Almost 700 plus employees are there in our R&D department. And then if you say like manpower point of view, almost 4,000 employees are there in GoodWe across the world. For production capacities, the GoodWe manufacturing unit will deliver almost 25 gigawatt solar inverters per annum. So apart from solar inverter divisions, we have lithium-ion batteries manufacturing unit also. In that, we are delivering almost 1 gigawatt hour batteries. So in terms of global installation point of view, almost 35 gigawatt installed globally. In that, residential segment will cover almost 15 gigawatt. This is our product portfolio. So you can see we almost covering residential to utility scale segments. The residential solution starting from 0.7 to 15 kilowatt inverters. And then C&I, we are targeting from 70 to 136 kilowatt inverters. Utility scale, we are offering 250 kilowatt inverters. We will see in brief about so what are all the features of our utility scale inverters. So apart from the solar inverters, we have a building integrated BV. We recently established these divisions. So hopefully from Solar Academy, you people received some few presentations also related to this building integrated PV. So then we have a solar hybrid units system also. In that we are offering package wise. So our offers and all including batteries as well as these hybrid inverters. So we are the major players in the utility string inverter market. We are offering from 0.7 to 250 kilowatt. So then we can switch over to our webinar topic. So GoodWe new generation inverters. First of all, what is the need for these new generation inverters? So why we have to go for this new generation? So what happened to this old one? So initially, it is full and full depend upon the solar models. You can refer this slide. There is a solar cell development in the it's clearly mentioned in this slide. You can see that initially in 2012, there is a 156 wafer size models are there. And then 2019, it is developed to 166 wafer size. And then last few years, we are always discussing about 182 wafer size and then 210 wafer size. This 156 wafer size will deliver almost 330 watt peak solar output power, solar modules. And then if it is 160 is less than 450 watt peak, will deliver using for 166 wafer size solar models. So in that 156 and 166 wafer size models, the current should be less than 10 amps. So if you refer these module technical parameters, the current should be less than 10 amps. You can see IMPP is somewhere around 9.6 amps or 8 point something like that. It will be there. So based on that, we have designed our inverters suitable for the MPPT current of 12.5 amps. These 156 and 166 wafer size modules in the market almost more than 7 years. So this is the almost 7 years. There is no any changes in the model wafer sizes from 2010 to 2017. So mostly during that time, most of the solar models are rated for 330 and 340, and then the current also almost less than 10 amps only. So in that case, we people are designed our inverters suitable for this 12.5 amps MPPT current. So later, last few years, there is a development like anything on these module technologies. So in that time, we have introduced 182 wafer size and then 210 wafer size models. If you refer the 182 wafer size, the mostly the major players like Longi, Jinko, and then Jar Solar, those people are using 182 wafer size models. If you refer this current, so the current is almost less than 15 amps. So you can refer the Jinko, it is 14.92 ISC, and then if you refer Launch, it is 13.81. These are the 182 wafer size models. So in that 182 wafer size, the current should be less than 15 amps. So at present, 12.5 amps MPPT current, but the actual requirement is from the model technical parameter, it is 15 amps. So we have to upgrade our inverter MPPT current to higher version for meeting these new technology models. So that is the only reason we are going for these new generation inverters. The new generation is nothing but we are increasing the current of the MPPT current in the inverters. That is, we are more suitable for meeting the large current requirement of these inverters. There are then 210 wafer size. 210 wafer size is nothing but there are two people on the market. They are offering a 210 wafer size models, Trina Solar and then Canadian Solar. If you refer those people model technical parameter, the current is somewhere around 19 amps. So our utility scale inverter also will support for this 210 wafer size. We will see in detail about in the upcoming slides. So this is the so that's what we discussed. What is the need for these new generation inverters? So there are four topics, four reasons. Follow the trend for the large current PV models, and then increase the safety features of the inverters, and then increase the power generation, and then maybe some technical features should be added into that. The main agenda to increase the new generation inverters is increasing the MPPT current to some 12.5 amps to some 15 amps. That is the main agenda. So these are all the four models we are normally using for these India market, the namely called STD, G2, and then XS, and then SMT, and then DNS inverters. These are all the four common inverters we are using for common models we are using for these residential and C&I segment inverters. So these are all the updates going to happen with our residential and utility scale inverters. If you can refer here in residential, there are models we discussed, the XS, DNS, STD, G2, and then MT series. You can refer these XS. There is a existing is 12.5 amps. The 12.5 amps current we are increasing to 15 amps. The same way for DNS model, we are increasing to our MPPT current existing is 11 amps. We are increasing to 16 amps. The same way, STD also remains same. STD G2 also remains same, and then MT series also. At this moment, MT series we are rented up to 36 kilowatt. But at this stage, we are increasing to there are two. We are adding to 36. We are increasing the capacity to 50 kilowatt and 60 kilowatt. It is coming under this MT series, SMT series. And then these are the models, new models we are offering for maybe the upcoming new product details. The XS model previously the GW 1000XS will be there. The new model name is GW XXXX-XS-11, and then DNS means 3000 GNX. DNS will be the NS will be there. Now there is a updated product name is GW 3600 DNS 30. The same way, residential and commercial also, we are increasing to SDD models to some higher version. So all the models are increasing the current from 12.5 amps to 15 amps. The same way for SMT models, we are increasing these the SMT till at this moment it is a 36 kilowatt is the max. So we are increasing from 36 kilowatt to 50 and then 60 kilowatts. Then if you discuss about, this is the XS inverters. This is XS inverters. What are the advantages of XS inverter? Means the new model is we are increasing the current to 12.5 amps to 15 amps. And then if it is a very frontful and thoughtful design, it is nothing but if you see the A4 size paper, it is very similar to your A4 size paper. The size of the inverter is similar to your A4 size paper. There is one more option here. It is previously it was Type 3 SPDs are there. So now we have optional Type 2 SPDs on our XS models. And then one of the other feature is 24-hour load consumption also we can monitor. So that is the one of the key features we added into our XS series models. So this is our uh, appearance of our XS model inverters. So we are offering with display only for the XS model. You can refer, this is the DC switch. These are the some common equipments in the solar inverters. The one of the advantages here it is that very compact, in the sense weight also it is very less. So compared to other market players. And then if you go for the STD G2 series, in this STD G2, the same way, these are all the technical features. 15 amps input current, string input, and then we have to load up to 200% oversizing. If you refer DC to AC overloading, you have to do 200% oversizing, you have to do it. So apart from this, there is a SPD alarm also there in that inverter. That SPD alarm, there is a optional features will be there in this SPD. If you want to take it, you can use it. In this more helpful for reducing the inverter downtime. So apart from this, the same similar way, there is a 24-hour load consumption monitoring also is there in this inverter. Previously, these STD GT inverters are offering with Type 3 SPD. So now we are increasing uh, SPD ratings to Type 3 to Type 2. See, these are all the some key details. Previously, the maximum input voltage is 1000 volt. Now we are increasing to 1100 volt. Then the number of models in series will increase. That is one of the advantages. Previously, it is 12.5 amps MPPT current. Now it is 15 amps. Surge arrestal also previously we have offered Type 3 SPDs. Now we are using Type 2 SPDs. Previously, it was this. There are two type of cooling methods we are adopted into this new model. From 8 to 10 kilowatt, we are using fanless technology. It's nothing but natural cooling method. From 12 to 20 kilowatt, we are using fan cooling method for these thermal effect. In terms of noise level, you can refer it is previously it was 43 dB. So now we are achieving only less than 25 dB. We can achieve these noise level and all. These are all the some key advantages. Then these are the appearance of our new DNS G2 series inverters. So this G2, then we come back to DNS model. The DNS model we are offering two type of models. We are offering with LED display also, without LCD display also we are offering. And then these are all the some advantages. Here you can see that string input current increased to 13 amps to 16 amps. So that is one of the key advantage. And then if you refer the SPD also, we are offering optional Type 2 SPDs in these DNS new model inverters. Previously, the startup voltage is somewhere around 80 volt for these uh, DNS model. Again, we are reducing to these 50 volt. It will increase your generations. And then the same way, this modern, smaller and very compact this DNS model. And then the AFCA function also, there is a optional features in our DNS G3 series. Similar to XS model, there is a 24-hour load consumption monitoring also possible in these DNS series inverters. So apart from these residential we almost cover is the DNS G3 and then XS model and then our STD G2. So compared to the C&I, the commercial and industrial markets, so we are previously we are using KNMT series. So you can say like 50 KNMT, 60 KNMT. So this KNMT series and all with the fuse design. Maybe you can see that circuit diagram of the KNMT series. Those inverters are with the fuses. So we are finding some difficulties. Then the market feedback also, they are not expecting with the fuse design. They are expecting fuseless design actually. So most we are getting feedback from our key accounts, and then we are getting feedback from our business partners. So then we are adopting this feedback, and then we are using this. We are come back with this new model called KSMT. So previously we are offering SMT series. The SMT series restricted up to 36 kilowatt. From upgraded version of this SMT, we are introducing that 50 kilowatt and 60 kilowatt inverters to the market. So in that inverters, you can previously it was a 12.11 amps per string input. Now there is 11 amps increased to previously, we are offering 11 amps for this 50 kilowatt inverter. Now, this 11 amps increased to 15 amps input. So, per MPPT, you have two inputs, each MPPT having two string inputs. For 50 kilowatt inverter, we have 5 MPPTs. For 60 kilowatt inverter, we have 6 MPPTs. In that, previously, it was a type 3 SPDs. Now, we are offering with type 2 SPDs. These are all the fuse-free design, and then if you refer these MPPT voltage range is 200 volt to 950 volt operating voltage range. These are all the appearance of our new SMT KSMT models. You can refer here. Even you can see the right side only. There is a fans are there for the cooling components, cooling point of view, ventilation point of view. So we are offering these inverters with the display also, without display also we are offering. The communication point of view, we are using both Wi-Fi. You can offer either GPRS also available, Wi-Fi also available, even LAN communication also possible for these SMT models. These are all the installation methods of our, especially for these residential and C&I segment inverters, because even though we are mentioning these installation methods in this manual, so we are keep on getting calls from our installers or our key accounts, and then our business partners. So what I am trying to convey here, first you have to focus on this where the ventilation fan is located inside in the inverters. Either it is bottom of the inverters or it is in left hand side or right hand side. So it depends on that we have to take a call. So here you can see that the ventilation fans are mounted on the right side of the inverters. If that is the reason, you can refer here. They are keeping almost 1200 mm distance between one inverter to another inverters. So in that condition, you have to keep some leave some more space between one inverter to another inverter. Suppose if it is the inverters are mounted on the cascade installation. If it is a single inverter, there is no any issues. You can do it as per your common installation is fine, similar to this. And then if you are using multiple inverters in the same roof or same side, then you have to follow this uh, distance. So it is full and full depend on your ventilation fan's location only. If the ventilation fan is located in this side, you have to keep more distance for better air circulations. So if you refer previously, all the inverters, even our residential or C&I, and then our inverters, all the inverters are rated for this IP65 enclosures. Then apart from these C&I, we are offering this 100 and 120 kilowatt inverter also. There is no any major changes into that. We are offering the same models to the market. So there is no any modification in our 100 and 120 kilowatt inverters. We are offering the same. So anyway, we are telling about other models, what are the modifications that happen. So when it is available in the India market, that is the main question I was expect you people are expecting. Then the Access Plus models, the IEC certificates all done. So BAS also we are expecting, because in India market BAS is mandatory. So we will update BAS status. Hopefully we are going to get on January month next year January. Regarding DNS G3 also, might be we are expecting BAS, because all the models, the IEC certifications and all done for all the models. The only the pending is the BAS certifications only. So that's what this is the right time to promote or introduce our a new model series, new model inverters to our business partners, to our vendor. This is the right time. That's what the webinar was happened. If you refer this STD G2 also is almost BA is expecting on 2023. So you can refer these all the models, all IE certifications and all done. So as per our government policy, the BA is mandatory for our installation in India. So the only BA is only pending from our side. So hopefully, so all the BAs will going to complete maybe next year January or next year February. So after Jan and Feb, you can expect these models are available in the India market. So that's all about our new generation inverters. So hopefully we have covered all the inverters updates. Then we will switch over to utility scale. The utility scale, so we have given enough presentation to this social platform, but thing is that still we are getting some calls. Maybe we have given enough presentation for our KST models. So in the utility scale, we are offering, there are two models, namely you can say 250 KST and then 250 KNST. The 250 KST is there from 2020. I think we 2020 introduced in the market. Almost 1 year we are using that market. After that, in 2021 last year, we are introduced this 250 KNST models. This 250 KNST model will more suitable for these high current applications. Nothing but 210 mm wafer size models. So what is the 210 mm wafer size? We already discussed that. Then come back to the highlights of our utility scale. These are all the, see now you can say like most of the inverter OEMs and all offering the same uh, uh, provision, the same advantages only. But a few some good things are there in our inverters. It's nothing but you can say like night HVC features, and then internal humidity reduction, then IV curve diagnosis, and then power line communications, and then compatible with high current power models. Even only recently we introduced that 20 amps per input current. Some few of the inverter OEMs and all, they don't have that features. So that's what we are trying to convey here about our product details. So these are all some features of our utility scale. All the utility scale inverters are rated for IP66 enclosure, and then we have anti-PAD solution also. These inbuilt features. This is not like we have to provide some external communication box and all. So we have external communication box is not required for our utility scale. If you refer our competitors, it is external communication box is required for our anti-PAD solutions and all. We are offering the type 2 SPDs on both DC as well as AC side. The IV diagnosis which are also optional features of our inverters. The AFCA also is optional features. And then we are offering two type of string input currents for this utility scale. The name 15 amps per input string, that is for the 250 KST model. 20 amps per input string, that's for 250 KNST models. The string level DC monitoring also one of the advantages. And then our inverter will support for both DC as well as the aluminum as well as the copper cable. So we can terminate up to 300 square cable in our AC cabinet. This is our appearance of our utility scale inverter. You have to refer this AC termination is AC cabinet is in the right side of the inverters. There only you have to connect our AC cable. We will see some good pictures of our AC termination in our utility scale inverters. These are all the there are two models we are offering, 250 KST and KNST. These are all the different views of our inverters. You can refer the bottom. As you told in these inverter, there are 12 MPPTs are there. So each MPPT having two strings. So you can refer here for in 250 KST models. If you 250 KST, you can refer there are 4 DC switches are there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each switch will cover almost three MPPTs. So 4 into 3 is a 12. So there are 4 DC switch in 250 KST inverters. In this 250 KNST model, there are 6 MPPTs, each MPPT having 3 inputs. So total 18 strings are there. In that, the 3 DC switch will cover for the entire 18 strings. In this KNST, we are offering a automatic DC switch. It is not like a manual, whatever other people are other OEMs are offering. So we are offering a automatic DC switch. We are offering for this KNST model that we will see in detail in upcoming slides. So this is the one what we discussed. DC current is 15 amps for this KST model, and then DC current is 20 amps for this KNST model. Number of MPPT is 12 in 250 KST, 250 KNST is 16 amps. So if you refer the table wise, you can refer here 250 KST. Maximum current per MPPT is 30 amps. In KNST it is 60 amps. Short circuit is 50, here it is 90. Number of MPPT is 12. In KNST it is 6. And then number of strings per input MPPT is 2 in KST model. In KNST it is 3. 3 strings per MPPT. So apart from this, then one of the major advantage difference is the DC switch. The DC switch offering for KST model is automatic. So it's a traditional DC switch. So everyone is offering, all OEMs are offering for this manual type of DC switch only. But we are offering for this automatic DC switch actually. So in terms of derating point of view, so our inverter will deliver 250 kilowatt at 35 degrees Celsius. You can refer this graph. At 35 degrees Celsius, our inverter will deliver 250 kilowatt inverters. If we see this at 50 degree, the inverter will deliver 200 kilowatt. So normally in India, so the inverters are rated for this 50 degrees Celsius only. So you can at 50 degrees Celsius, the inverter will deliver 200 kilowatt inverters. This is our ventilation systems in our utility scale inverters. You can refer here. There are 6 NMB fans. All the fans are IP68 rated. So the entering dust inside these inverters and all is quite not at all possible. So our fan, because of that, our fan life will increase. And then for the hot air sucking from the bottom portion of the inverters. And then after this ventilation process is over, the cold, hot air going out from top of the inverters. This one we are already explained about our derating part. At 35 degrees Celsius, inverter will deliver 250 kilowatt. At 50, inverter will deliver 200 kilowatt. So if you refer the data sheet of our utility scale, somewhere we are mentioning about 250, 225 KST, 225 KNST. But especially for these other regions, maybe probably in China. So there they are considering a 45 degrees Celsius. That's what you can mention 225 kilo KST inverters in our data sheets. You can see that features. So we discussed about our automatic DC switch. So these are all our traditional inverter, how it looks like. So after the PV inputs from this field, positive and negative cable, then it will goes to this fuse, and then it will goes to the DC switch. Then only it will enter into MPPT circuit. This is a traditional one. If you are using our all the production of inverter, this is the common one. The DC switch should be, maybe it is a traditional in the sense nothing but manual one. So but in our 250 KNST inverters, so this feedback of these DC switch connected to our DSP. So whenever there is a PV short circuit and then reverse polarity, the immediately the DSP will command to this inverter DC switch. The inverter DC switch would automatically open the circuit. This is the schematic diagram of our KNST models. So there are 3 DC switches are there. You can refer the connection these things. So all the DC is connected to our DSP. So whenever there is a command from the DSP, it is automatically open this DC switch. Then we have to restore that. We have to address this issue. We have to, then only the DC switch will again turn on. That is the one of the advantages of our inverters compared to other inverter OEMs. So it is, our DC switches look like this. So what is the operation you have to see here in terms of reverse polarity and then PV short circuit, immediately the DC switch will open. So we have to reset this DC switch. This is mounted on the, you can see the inverter bottom, you will found this reset push button. So then you have to reset this trip switch. Then only the inverter will again turn on to the live mode actually. So this is the advantages of our KNST models. In terms of PID, in the PID, we are offering, there are two type of PID solutions. One is anti-PID, one is PID recovery. So if you refer this, okay, there is some delay in slides. So just I want to reconnect. So in terms of PID solutions, we are offering, there are two solutions for this PID effect, namely called anti-PID and PID recovery. So first of all, what is the need for this PID effect, anti-PID solutions, the anti-PID and then PID recovery. So even that is depends upon, that is from our solar modules production point of view. We are offering these features. Even though the modules are rated for this IEC 62804, if you refer any of the module manufacturers, they will say like our inverters are PID resistance or PID free karte. So those inverters, they pass that 6804 standards. If they have passed 6804 standards also, because the many other external factors are there, the modules are enter into this PID effect actually. The PID effect is nothing but, I will show an example. You can refer this slides. In this slide, the left side is nothing but the affected by PID effect. You can refer some dark portions is nothing but these models affected due to the PID effect. Then we have to use these PID features, anti-PID or PID recovery solutions. In that time, after that, it will shows like this. So that's what this is a thermal images of the solar models. If you see that due to PID effect, the generation will reduce in percentage. You can say like sometimes 30 percentage or 40 percentage. Depends upon these effect, the output of the solar modules will reduce. So if you are using anti-PID or PID recovery means again it will regain their properties actually. So if it is compared to these the PID necessity, even though many other external factors are there, that is different topics for these. What is the need for these PID solutions? So due to the environmental conditions, it is a PID, maybe if, even though they are telling it is a PID free or PID resistance, so after time, sometime the PID effect will be there in the solar modules. So for avoiding that kind of situations, even based on the previous experience, our solar developers, our business partners, everyone is expecting this anti-PID solution as well as the PID recovery. So it depends upon these project capacities and the location of the site. They are taking the call. Either they wants to go with either anti-PID or PID recovery. So apart from this, suppose we have seen some of the images. If it is a crystalline plant affected by the PID issue, PID, if you use anti-PID solutions and all, we can recover those. We can recover that panel to the normal actually, like what we have shown in the images. So, but in PID effect in the thin film models, so we can't unable to recover that the original one. So due to what happened, suppose one one thin film module, say for example 455 watt peak of first solar, so we have installed after some time due to PID effect, we can the 435 watt peak reduced to 300. So with the help of PID, so anti-PID, we again it is not able to achieve that 435 watt peak again. So maybe once it is derated means derated. That's all. So that is the difference between crystalline and thin film. In crystalline, we can able to achieve that derated portions, but in thin film technology, it is not able to achieve the derated power. So that is the reason if you go any thin film models plant, the anti-PID solutions are mandatory. If you first of all is a major key players for the thin film models, so they are telling this mandatory requirement for their inverters. Anti-PID solution is mandatory. So that's what the PID features are implemented in our inverters. So we are offering, there are two type of PID solution. One is daytime anti-PID, then PID recovery. So what is the difference between the daytime anti-PID and then nighttime means first we have to see the PAD recovery. The PAD recovery is PAD solution is nothing but we are injecting some potential voltage bias to this with the help of inverter. Due to that, we are able to achieve that model properties again the same thing. So during but one of the disadvantages of this PAD recovery solution, it will work only during night time. So whenever there is a voltage is going beyond below the 50 volt, that time only the inverter below 50 volt only they start the PAD recovery solutions. But so sometimes the people are thinking during daytime only the PAD effect will be more compared to the during night time. So that is the reason they are expecting daytime anti-PAD for these inverters. In daytime anti-PAD also, so one of the recently introduced this anti-PAD for daytime anti-PAD. So we are with the help of positive voltage bias, we are executing these anti-PAD features in our inverters. So this is the images. Then as I told earlier, depends upon the location also, you will take a call whether you want to go with PAD recovery features or anti-PAD. So in coastal area, you can refer this table. The dry environmental, we are always preferring anti-PAD features. So because the dry environmental, there is a possibilities of PAD effect will be more in models compared to other locations. And then in desert locations also, we are preferring these anti-PAD features. And then PLE recovery, the other locations they are preferring this PLE recovery, but thin film models, this anti-PLE is mandatory. This is for these mainly made for these crystalline technology models, but thin film technology, it is a mandatory features for this anti-PLE one. Then you can come back to these Q at night. This Q at night, there are two uh, advantages in our inverters. So first of all, our inverter will deliver almost 60 percentage of our nominal output power in the reactive power. 60 percentage of 250 kilowatt is nothing but our inverter will deliver the 150 kVA reactive power to the grid in terms of any requirement from grid side or either a substation, whatever the grid side you will require. Suppose if grid they are expecting some 60 kilowatt kVAR or 80 kVAR, in that time we are our inverter will support for that. In that case also our inverter will support for the dynamic response, because it is not a one by one inverter. So our inverter will support for this dynamic feedback from PPC also. All the inverters are working on simultaneously. Even you will control these command through individual inverters also. The thing is that our inverter will deliver the reactive power 60 percentage of nominal output power. And then one more advantages we have in this our Q at night. So there is a, if you refer our competitors during the after you can say like after the inverter enter into sleep mode, again power blockout and again power resume means those people are not supporting the reactive power concept, because they are there is a pre-charging unit will be there in the circuit. So they are depends upon the DC power. So once they have power blockout and then resume means, so they are unable to deliver the reactive power. In our inverter, there is no need of choosing that one, because we are not dependent upon this DC power. AC power itself sufficient for this delivering the reactive power to the grid for our inverters. So this is the circuit diagram of our Q night functions. You can refer this IV diagnosis. This is the one of the features with the help of color code only. You will able to see the changes. So say the changes in the sense how is the inverter performance of our complete plant. This one is more helpful for after commissioning of the plant in terms of O&M point of view. So it will be more helpful for these. You can say like. More helpful for the O&M people. So if they can easily identify which string is doing underperformance with the help of color codes, you can refer the our sample plant here. So whatever the blue ones are there, it is for normal aging and then shadow blocking. The different errors also there in this actually. So you will able to control this control the plant with the help of this IV diagnosis. So hardly maybe we are also applied for the third party verification also, but it will take some time for this approval. This is already implemented. So I think I will this IV diagnosis will is available on optional basis. If you are using IV diagnosis features, you have to use our SCP 3000 data logger. That is the mandatory requirement. In terms of commissioning point of view, we are offering there are two different apps we are using for this inverter commissioning. The first one is for Solar Go app, that is for the on-grid inverter commissioning. And then if you refer here, the PV Master app is specially designed for these storage inverters commissioning point of view. This is our communication solutions. This is now suitable for these utility scale inverters. So maybe this portion will cover will most of the points, the remaining points. So you can refer here. In bottom there is one USB port will be there. In that one you can connect our Bluetooth dongle for the commissioning point of view. Through that you have to download our app, SolarGo app from any Android mobile and all. That way you have the commission. Then if you want to update any firmware also, you can use this USB port. And then the second one is that this utility scale we are offering two type of communication. First one is RS485 and then second one is that PLC. If you are using RS485, there are three different data loggers we are offering. You can say like EZ Logger Pro and then SCB 3000 and then SEC 1000. So each data logger will perform different function depends upon these applications. This data logger is a logger pro is if you want to see only the generation, you don't want to control anything. In that time, you can see the plant performance, yearly performance, monthly performance, or any daily generation details. Then, if you want to do some graphs, MPPT current. So, very basic requirement, we are preferring this is a Logger Pro data logger. Then, if you are going with SCP 3000 means especially designed for this utility scale. Even our IV diagnosis and then PLC and all workable with the help of this SCP 3000 device only for PLC and IV diagnosis. This ACC 1000 specially designed for this utility power limiting option. The sense there is no any net metering. The power ramp up and ramp down will happen with the help of this SEC 1000 device, specially designed for this C&I market inverters. And then if you refer the PLC, the transformers we are all transformers till you have to use, say for example, if you are using a three winding transformer is nothing but 2 LV 1 HP. In that case, we are preferring each LV one SCB 3000 device actually. Each LV will require one SCB 3000 device, and then if you want to control, say for example, SCB 3000, you can connect maximum of 60 inverters per SCB 3000 device. So it depends on your cluster size, either it is a 6.5 MVA or 10 MVA or 12.5. Depends upon that, you have to take a SCB 3000, but the thing is that each LV should have one SCP 3000 device. That time only the PLC communication is possible, and then IV diagnosis features also possible. So then we come back to these the transformer requirements. So some people are asking, so what is the impedance within LV to LV, LV to HP? So those kind of questions are we are getting regularly. That it depends upon your IS 2026 in India. Depends upon transformer size will going to increase, but you have to get some concurrence from our side. So this is the impedance value we are going to use that the transformer करके. So we will confirm the same for the impedance point of view. So this then in the same SCP 3000 device you can connect the weather sensors also. We can monitor the weather sensor with the help of this SCP 3000 communication device. So these are all the certifications we are normally having for our utility scale. We have all our certifications, including CEA also. So all these utility scale inverters, what are all the certifications required for these utility scale inverters? We have that for our utility scale inverters. This is our monitoring platform. You can see all the information in the single screen. You will come to know that actually. So generation in terms of daily, monthly, annual generation, DC current, AC current, what are the fault details, everything will come to know this monitoring platform. This is the one main dashboard if you are using multiple sites in single account. So that way you have to get some dashboard details from our SIMS portal. Then a few of the developers in India, they are using their own monitoring platform actually. In that case, with the help of API exchange, API data, we can see our inverter performance in the non-GoodWe server also. So, but we have to sign some NDA with us for sharing this API exchange file to these end users. Then inverter installation point of view, so for mainly we are very keen on this inverter installation in the utility scale because we are facing a lot of the sense complaints from the sites. So as it I told, you can refer here. There is a gap we are maintaining from one inverter to another inverter, almost greater than 1000 gap we are maintaining from one inverter to another inverter. Normally, this is for two inverter case. If it is a single inverter, there is no any issue. We have to maintaining the distance between obstacle for greater than 600 You can refer your one of the sites here. Even though the inverters are rated for IP66 enclosure, then we are recommending for avoiding direct sunlight and water our inverters actually. So that's what we are expecting some inverter shed for avoiding direct sunlight and water to our inverters. These are the some see installation images of our inverters. Uh, you can see like maybe this is for 250 kVc inverters actually. In terms of AC terminations, as I told, our inverter will support for both cables, aluminum as well as the copper. The inverter termination, if you are using aluminum cables, you have to use bimetallic lacks. Bimetallic in the sense, the cable side you have to use aluminum. On the inverter termination side, we have to use copper. So, this is the one installation photos, images. Then we have to see that we can't use the double compression gland and all because if you are using some 300 square cable and all, the OD of the cable is too much high because it is not able to support from our cabinet box actually. In that case, we have to use as per whatever we have done. Now we have to remove the cores, each and every core. Then we have to enter into inside the inverters. If it is a square is less, you can sense, say for example, some 120 or 150 square cable. At that time, we can some possibilities are there for using cable glands, but with the square and all some 180, 185 square or 240 square we have to use that single core cable only. That is not recommended for smooth functioning of our inverters because if you are using the 240 square with the cable gland, the bending radius should be high. So for avoiding those kind of difficulties, so we are proposing for single core termination only from the bottom of our AC cabinet. Then you have to mentioning that the torque also, either if it is using that bolt and all after termination, there is a possibilities of heat generation also. Suppose few of the sites we are getting regular feedback from our service team. The people are not doing the tightening properly. So because of what happened after some time, the particular phase will heated due to that non-conductivity. So that time what happened, the particular phase will getting heated. So after that, there is a blast will happen that particular phase. So that's what we are preferring to maintaining this torque for this particular phases. If you refer this M12 bolt, we are referring 25 to 30 Newton meter, and then M8 we are always preferring 7 to 9 Newton meter. So that's all about from my side. Any other questions answer from your side? I will answer one by one. So do you use BMS? Yes, there is one question. Do you use BMS? BMS is mainly for this battery management system, I think so. That is for either you are asking for the hybrid inverters. Yes, we are using BMS these things, but maybe for large scale projects, we don't have BMS solutions. For our hybrid inverters, limited to till 30 kilowatt only. In the 30 kilowatts, also maybe this is Chinese only actually. So all our inverters are manufactured in China only. So BMS is available for our hybrid inverters only. So the hybrid inverter, just I want to say something about our hybrid inverters. So there we are using, there are two models of our hybrid, namely called ES and ET. The ES model is specially designed for these residential single phase applications, and then it up to 5 kilowatt inverters, ET and all till 10 kilowatt inverters. There is some development was happening in our hybrid inverter also. Now we are reaching up to 30 kilowatt, maybe the same ET series, three phase applications. After 10 it will going to 15, 20, 25, and then 30. So till 30 kilowatt we are using this hybrid inverters. Sure, we will get in touch with you maybe in case of any BMS for some other products. Sure, we will contact you. And any other questions?